Okay. Yeah, just as we have Tom just join us today, and I want to introduce myself a little bit more. Um, I'm from Vietnam. I came here for study. I almost done with my MA degree. Um, so with link support, I formed this group and invite people to join and practice Buddhist teaching. Even though it's called Buddhist, but my intention here is to bring the Buddhist teaching to you as a way of life. If you are willing to practice it as religions, you are welcome to. But my intention is Buddhism is not only a religion; it's a way of life. Anyone can practice it and use the benefit of it to benefit their life. And so my tradition is called Kuxi, means Vietnamese Medican Buddhism. It was established by the most venerable Minh Đăng Quang about 80 years ago in Vietnam. Vietnam is a very diverse country with different schools of Buddhism. And during the Vietnam War, with a lot of religious group developed to support the community spiritually with the suffering of the war, and our school also developed from there. And most of my tradition in the US they are located in California and mostly serve Vietnamese population. So my intentions, I hope that my being would be a little bit open for English speaking population as well. And Buddhist teaching does not belong to anyone, is because the truth is the truth. So if we can use and see the truth as they are, no matter who you are, which identities that you are carrying, you will see it right here and right now. Because I have seen it from myself, and I wish one day I can bring it more and more to more people. And you are welcome to join me today. So today I will talk about the happiness of seeing things as they are. So um, meditation is very popular anywhere, especially in the US. People use the word meditation many times. However, when I explore with them, I feel like their intention quite different from a Buddhist approach. For example, people use meditation to relax, to find some peace, and they lean onto it as healing or something like coping mechanism in deal with the very chaos society. That's totally fine, and that is one of the benefit of the meditation. However, it's just a secular use of it for spiritual growth and aim to the ultimate freedom and or ultimate happiness. The intention for meditation is to enlighten yourself. Enlightenment is kind of very fancy word, but basically it's just seeing the truth. If you can see the truth, that's enlightenment. It's called Mahaparipatana Parinibbana day. It's the day that the Buddha entered Nibbana. This means he passed. He passed 80 years old. So today I am his student, continue turning the Dharma wheel. sending the awakening message to people who have a good connection with me. And I'm so fortunate to have you all. So coming back to our topic, the meditations in Buddhist approach is to see things as they are, to see the truth. The truth doesn't mean comfortable or pleasant. The truth is the truth. And so that's very different because the goal is to be free from the suffering. And it's not the same with achieve happiness. When we try to achieve something, we are driven by an egocentric self. But in order to free from suffering, it's the true suffering that all beings deserve to have. So it's very clear on the language that the ultimate goal for Buddhism and for all beings is to be free from the suffering, to be free from whatever make us suffer. And in a temporary world that we are here under condition of birth, age, sickness, aging, sickness, and death, be severed from loved one, associated with unloving one, or don't get what you want. All of that is called suffering. That is the core, the suffering, the fact of suffering. The fact of sufferings. Oh, I talk through this. So today, like we discuss a version of the Four Noble Truths, and what I just mentioned is like birth, aging, sickness, and death, separation from loved one, association with a loving one, don't get what you want. All of that is suffering. And suffering is also the truth. What does it mean? Like when you don't get what you want, you are sad, or you're disappointed, or you feel hurt when somebody treating you badly, or you are under the suffering, the collective suffering of society or environment, violence. That's true. When people or humans or all sentient beings in those conditions, we are suffer, and that's the truth. Nothing wrong with being sad or being hurt. When something happened to you or your family or your loved one, you suffer. Or if you are under stress of working with people you couldn't get along with, you stress out. And that's the truth. We are humans. Being humans means being vulnerable. And that is true. But the interesting is the cause of suffering is not from them, from us. We want them to be different. The cause of suffering is because we want them to be different. We want people to love us forever. We want us to be healthy, this body to be functional forever. Nothing wrong is allowed to happen to me. I need to achieve what I need to achieve. I get to achieve in fame, wealth, whatever success is. And that's the cause of suffering. The suffering is not only come from the outside, but most of the time it's come from inside of us. We want things to be different, wish things to be different. And with my personal experience, I would say my own suffering is come from I'm not allow myself to feel sad or unable to feel the feelings. And that's why a lot of people running away from the feeling and they try to find something else to coping with that anxiety and stress by use substance or like addict behavior or whatever. And when we unable to deal with the whatever inside, the disturbance inside, we out of mindfulness and passing that away to the people around us and create more and more suffering. Yeah. Yeah. In the sutra, the Buddha said, now this bhikkhu is the noble truth of the origin of suffering. This is craving with leads to becoming, accompanied by delight and lust, seeking delight here and there, that is craving for sensual pleasure, craving for becoming, craving for this becoming. These cause of suffering is that the craving attachments drives human to want or to wish things to be different than they really are. If we say that if we don't have enough food as we normally have, so we suffer. That's true. But somebody else in harder condition, they eat less, they still survive. So changing in outside condition do have an impact on you. But that doesn't mean that the origin of the suffering is from them. The origin of suffering is from us because we want them to be different. We want them to become something else, or we want something to destroy it, or we want something to disappear. We want the anxiety to disappear. Cannot hold that anxiety because normally in human brain we are not trained to deal with those feelings. Normally, most of methodologies nowadays try to deal with replacement. Less I would see that we deal with like facing that because it's too hard. And this truth of cessation of sufferings is when we see they as they are, see things as they are, right? Non-attachment is the truth of cessation of suffering. When we are open and big to allow things as they are. When we are able to love a person without expect them to be differently or do differently. When we are able to live in the society, go with the flow, intentionally put the freedom in us and allow it to stretch. See things as they are or let things be doesn't mean doing nothing. It's confusing. It doesn't mean doing nothing. For example, when I say let go of expectation or let go of your attachment to a person, doesn't mean we let them go. We let go the attachment to them. For example, let go the like the attachment to this flower. Let me like let's go the like attachment relationship between me and this flower. Doesn't mean I throw this flower away. Like when we love a person, but we are able to let go the expectation.
What does it mean by let go of attachment to this flower?
Anyone want to join and respond?
So for me, I hear letting go of the attachment to the flower allows the flower to grow on its own, separate from me.
Correct. When we love a person, we want them to get better. So we support them. But attachment means they have to be that way. They have to go good that way. Otherwise, you're going to be upset. As is attachment impacting what is happening. So in expectation, when it's first arrive, it's a good thing. And then with more like ego thing joining the bowl, the whole team become chaos because we want things to be different. If they don't go in our expectation way, we get upset and angry. Yeah. I read a quote that say, when you like a flower, you can to cut it and bring it home. But when you love a flower, you water it and let it blossom. So to be able to see things as they are, the Buddha guide us to live with the Eight Noble Eightfold Path. It's a right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. So the path leading to cessation of suffering is all about action. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It's all about action, the action of the mind, speech, and body. Yeah, it's called the middle path. The middle path means it's free from dualism. If we say everything is impermanent, so you don't keep anything with you, that is dualistic. Because everything is changing, but still have something doesn't change. An apple seed will grow and become an apple tree. It couldn't become an orange tree. So something changed, something doesn't change. And that's why when we say everything is impermanent, it's true. But it's not enough. So everything's impermanent. And that also includes the permanence itself. So something is changing. Your body is changing. But in a certain amount of time, your life, for example, 80 years, something in you doesn't change. Your memories from childhood, your identities, in this certain time, it doesn't change. So when we study Buddhism and try to apply it to life, you need to understand fully, thoroughly, that you can understand it. So the middle path start with right view. So what is right view? Right view is able to see the impermanence of life. Everything is like not dualistic. So we hold everything loosely. We hold them, but loosely. With the right view and right intention. Right intention is for the good of all beings, of yourself and all beings. A lot of people would say that when we have a right intention or right understanding, we can love people deeply. Without right understanding, we cannot love them. Right understanding allow us to allow people and things in their own way. We understand that we are not with them forever. We are not holding the full power, controlling everything. With right understanding, we're more hopeful when living and walk through this life. So with right understanding, we know that we are just association of five aggregates. It's including body, sensation, perception, volition, and consciousness. Even though right now you carry a body, a shape, but all of that are under condition. It's not last forever. It's under other condition, and one condition is under other conditions. So we are consistently changed. And with that, we don't have a solid self. I have a meditation student, and that person is suffer from dealing with the mind, like the thoughts of self. They ask me, like, is there a self? I say yes. And he said, is that Buddhism said on is non-self? I said, that's true too. So what is the first self that I mentioned? The first self that you have a body, you have responsibility, you have identities, you have a name, that are beings who walking through this life. That's why you have a self. But that self is under billions, multi-billions condition. It cannot remain the same in every single moment. And that's why we don't have a solid self, but we have an ongoing chain self. We need to understand it very clearly, because if we don't understand it, we may go confused about how social responsibility is like that, right? So we have ongoing self. When we look deeply, Buddhism is very scientific, because if we look deeply in everything, atoms have space between them. They're not solid at all. Even a rock, a very solid element, when we look deeply, it still have space in it. And that's why we don't have a solid self. We have ongoing conditioning self. Yeah, but understand this. We are interconnected. What I'm telling you is just information. You need time to contemplate and see things by yourself and your own practice, your own intention. When you put an intention that you want to see the truth, and everything you see is your truth. So last time we talked about is Buddhism is like immediately or progressive. Both are also correct. So the enlightenment moment happened immediately. But in order to have that happen, you need a progress. You need a path to walk to. So many people come to the temple and study and practice for a long time, because they are trying to navigate and have the condition, the moment of awakening happen. Like, so when we walk through if you, for example, more easier example is when you want to see the sunrise, you walk up the mountain. The moment that you see the sunrise happen in a second. But in order to see it, you need to walk to that spot. If you come to that, like the highest spot as a right time, perfect time, you see it in that. But if you are late, you are still on the path and the sunrise, you still see immediately in the moment at where you are. So the enlightenment moment, the moment that you realize the truth and everything making sense, it's happened immediately. But you need time and the Sangha and the community and condition to make that happen. That's why I'm doing my job and you are here, contribute your presence. So have so many in different Buddhist tradition, we have a different way of practice. Are you all right? Yes. Yes. Take your time. In different school, we have different way of practice. So for example, like the Pure Land, we name the Buddhas like reciting the Buddha's name, or we chanting, or we do different activities. But the goal here is to see things that you can use the practice, and from the practice, you see the truth by your own. And that's why we study and we practice meditation. The Buddha got enlightenment by meditation. And that is the direct way to go through the liberation. So meditation is very popular, but the Buddhist approach is to see the truth. In order to see the truth, the meditation practice that I introduced contain 3 elements: mindfulness, concentration, and insight. Mindfulness is the sense of present, is the sense of here and now. You can access that anytime, like when you look around, when you feel your body. What's happening is the sense of present. And with that sense of present, you have spaciousness, you have like stability of the mind. And thus you have space to allow everything as they are. That's why one of the really like regulations way that we invite people to take a deep breath or feel their body sensations in order to separate themselves from the stress or the anxiety, because in that we have space, and from that space we see things as they are. We see the truth. If this one is too close to me, I couldn't see it, but if when I have enough space, I could see it. So the mindfulness is the first condition that brings us the stability of the mind. And from there, you are able to feel things and see things as they are without blown away by them. Yeah. So that is the end of my talk. Any question, reflection?
In my work, I've met people who only see suffering in the world, and so when I think of it, I think of that there is happiness, there is joy, there is bliss.
Yes.
And that is also something that is a part of the human condition and happens. Even if you have nothing and you're hungry and you don't have a house, you can still a possible thing. It's still something that happens.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering about what is bliss or
how to share with them this.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, from your place, you see it's there more than that. From their place, they only see the suffering, and that's the truth for them. Yeah. So that is the truth for them, and that's true. When I say that when you are in pain, the only thing you want is feel less pain or get the pain go away. That's the only wish that we have when you have a like tooth pain. Just go crazy. So in that case, I would suggest that invite them to allow the pain or the sufferings, because obviously suffering is a part of life and we cannot run away from it. However, if we can allow the suffering as the suffering, we don't add more layer on it. Like we allow them to be themselves, not wish them to be different or want them to be different or want themselves to do something in order to make them different. Yeah. And seeing that life is suffering is the first step in order to free from it. If we don't see that life as suffering and keep enjoying, and it would be concerned that would create more suffering on other beings. Many people are fortunate that they don't feel the suffering of hunger or homelessness or violence. They are fortunate enough to not feel those that. But their lives always under the condition of impermanence. So sufferings already around us. Yeah. Yeah. So when that person would allow things as they are. And then they may ask, why can you allow violence to happen? That's a good, very critical question. Smart people normally ask that. Allow violence or allow the society to be as they are. Doesn't mean we do nothing. We're still doing things. The path leading to the finish of the suffering is on about action. We still do the work that we are doing because we have a good intention. We have good intention, so we know what to do, what to involve, with action to take. But then, when we allow things to be as they are, when you put an action into it, what happened will happen. We are free from the expectation. Because when we put so much expectations, it's gonna make us suffer than the original suffering.
Say something?
Of course.
For me, first of all, I don't know what truth is. I've explored, investigated, prayed, meditated, and every time that there's something that seems truthful, somebody else's perspective is different, and so my perspective, in their opinion, is false. Even in something like mathematics, there is no absolute truth there. The relationship between the circumference of a circle and its diameter is called the number pi. And that's only true in flat space. It's not true in other spaces.
Yes.
So, and there's we do need things. Mathematics would not exist without two separate objects.
Mm.
And I think you were coming close to the a good understanding there when you say that things come from within
Mm.
and not from circumstances. So if you let circumstances rule your thought, you are going to be in a state of suffering. If you let your own thought be enlightened, be uplifted, contain love, then there will be less of the suffering. If you can, most of the suffering that is present on the planet is I feel the way that you feel there. That is because of what I, in my terminology, call ego.
Mm-hmm.
It is somebody wanting something for themselves or even for their family or something else. This is allowing ego to rule your being. And when you let ego rule, then nobody else is going to be on the same plane as you are, because that ego is your self-will speaking. And when self-will is speaking, chaos ensues. So to me, suffering is within. And if you allow your thoughts to be cruel, suffering, hurtful, vengeful thoughts, then the first place that you cause suffering is within yourself. And if you want to heal things that are around you, you must first straighten out, as you said, enlighten your own thought to get rid of that sense of ego. You can never change anybody else. The only person that you can change is yourself. And our course on this, in this physical lifetime that we have here, I don't know what comes after. I don't know what came before. Many of the Buddhist traditions do have deep thoughts as to what is before and after. I don't know. But what I do hope here is that by ruling out any vindictive thoughts, any cruel thoughts within my own being, that is a start towards peace.
Thank you. The fact that we love ourselves, we love our family and want to protect it, that's all right. The Buddhist teaching have two layers to apply. First is the temporary truth and the ultimate truth. Temporary truth is based on humans creation rules that can create a society that everyone can live in harmony. In spiritual or the ultimate truth is all of us gonna get free from the cycle of death and rebirth. And that is the difference. Yeah. Thank you for your reflection. Any question? Yeah. Shannon, do you have any question? Okay, good. Yeah, so next gathering will be Friday, March 28th, 6 p.m. And if you have any friends, please bring with you. And so I start a meditation group, and that group want to go on a outside activity day. So I'm gonna go for a hike together. This would be near here, South Boulder. In Monday, the 24th at 1 p.m. Are you able to join?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But the week after is a day off,
Oh, interesting.
March
Remember.
31st. But no.
Yeah.
Keep inviting us until we can.
Yes. So when the weather is nice, like this group like used to have like Saturday walking meditation activities, and this one is for my meditation vipassana group. Are you able to join?
I have no idea right now.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
At least it's not next Monday when I know I am busy.
Okay. It's the Monday after. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, so that is the end of our practice today. I invite you all to take a moment to dedicate the merit that we create today for all beings, for the peace of the world. I'm going to chant in Vietnamese first, and then we read this in English. Hồi hướng nguyện đem công đức này hồi hướng cho tất cả đệ tử và chúng sanh đều trọn thánh phân đạo. Dedication of merit. Reciting the sutras, practicing the way of awareness, give rise to benefits without limit. We vow to share these truths with all beings. We vow to offer tribute to parents, teachers, friends, and numerous living beings who give guidance and support along the path. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shannon.